It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Folks, let me tell you a story. A good friend of mine called me a while back and said, Sam, you're always trying to give your viewers information about different things. And I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, I think we could help your viewers out in helping them with their finances. And I happen to know this person a long time. And in the conversation, I said, well, what is your credibility? Because before I put you on my show and talk to my viewers, I want to make sure that you are qualified in what you're saying. Forget being a friend. Remember I tell you folks, don't vote for a person because he's a friend of yours or they tell you how to vote for them. Don't go to a doctor because they're friends. You check their credentials out. You check the qualifications out. Well, in this case, his qualifications match the fact that we are friends for a long time. His name is Blaise Greco, and he's on my show today. And folks, it has to do with your finances. It has to do with insurance, your life insurance, your fixed, and we're going to talk about index annuities and things that just information-wise. Because, how many of you have worked hard all your lives and you have some money set aside that you want to keep and hopefully need it and enjoy it for your senior day, the golden years, as they say? That's important. So I asked Blaise to come on the show and to give us some information. Blaise, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Now, folks, I'm going to have on the screen throughout this time a phone number and also a website that you can go to. Now, keep this in mind. I asked Blaise to, I don't want any, if you call and ask him a question, you're not obligated, just information. This is not one of those things where they're going to hook you and all that kind of nonsense. It won't happen. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Blaise, I know you a long time, and we're playing this show in all the markets that I'm in. And I'm doing it for one reason, because I think you could help a lot of people out because of your having the knowledge you have. So give me who is Blaise Greco?
Well, my career in insurance started, as you know, back when I was in my mid-20s with Metropolitan. I spent 11 years there before having my own business with my wife. And then I started the Greco Brokerage. And what Greco Brokerage has allowed me to do is use the companies that I've, in addition to MetLife, that I've become acquainted with, which is lots. I use what they call field marketing organizations, and I reach out to several companies, dozens, hundreds, and each of these companies, some are good in particular segments, like say someone that may have heart disease or diabetes, or somebody that's perfectly healthy, or somebody that's an athlete or a race car driver or a pilot. So Greco Brokerage is enabled me to assemble a vast amount of companies, be it life insurance companies, and I work with annuities and indexed annuities, all guarantees. And it's allowed me to be able to shop products and price for my clients. And that's what I do, and I'm enjoying it because it's just it's a no-lose situation for everybody.
Now, you've been doing this for years, of course.
Yes.
Okay? And you did, you had my insurance policy.
Yes.
And what you told me back then,
yes,
in the 90s, et cetera, is exactly what's happening now. So, I mean, that's the reason why you're sitting here today. The thing is that, Blaise, when the old-fashioned, face-to-face, everybody sometimes, I don't want to say everyone, I'm sure there's a lot of people like you out there that are honest, trustworthy, et cetera. But to take the time, particularly with seniors or people who are not familiar with this, because look, we get up in the morning, we go to work. Our job is to, to pay our bills, to save a few bucks, but we're not into the financing, okay? So when it comes to financing, I want to trust somebody, okay? So you either go to a bank or you go to a brokerage that you can trust and have faith in. Why should I have faith in you and trust in you?
Well, I think my reputation speaks for itself. You asked me for some testimonials, and I gave you a good amount. In fact, I was flattered and honored and humbled what my clients had to say. I didn't pressure them for a testimonial. I reached out and I asked them for it, and some of them are very long, but I take each client and I take the time and I do the right thing. I absolutely do the right thing. I always did the right thing, but I'm at a point in my life where, I'm not interested in quantity. I'm interested in quality. So I'm interested in taking a client and doing a good job, A to Z, and having that client maybe tell somebody else that Blaise Greco did a good job. And as far as why me, is because I said to a couple people the other day, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I don't think there's anybody out there that can touch me right now in the life insurance industry. And I mean that. I can virtually get any company with term insurance, like you talk about a national company on TV, a 1-800 number where you're going to call them up and they're going to give you a quote. I'm that national company, except I'm Blaise Greco, and I'm going to either come talk to you personally, or talk to you on the phone, or talk to you via internet, whichever method it takes. Now, a lot of people like the idea that I'll come out and see them, or they could come to the office. And as you know, I'm operating in Pennsylvania and Florida, so I'm going back and forth, and I'm building groundwork down there. But I think the biggest thing you ask me is because I have the products and I have them all. I'm not with one particular outfit, be it bank, be it insurance company, be it investment company. My door's open. I'm with lots of companies.
So what you're saying is you tailor make the product for the person that you're talking to. Because you mentioned they're a person who had cancer, okay?
Yes.
That you got an insurance policy
Yes.
for. You mentioned that there's one of the testimonies here, this person's 81 years old, and I'll get to that, and what you've been able to do. So you take each individual person. Now, the phone number is on the screen, folks, and the GrecoBrokerage.com/SSPTV, because I want to know exactly what's going on. I don't, you gave me your word. I don't want anyone being, I don't want any bait and switches here, okay?
No, here's what I said, Sam, and here's what I mean. I said what I would do is if anybody calls and they mention SSPTV, I will do a absolute free financial needs analysis consultation, talk about what they want to talk about, what they're comfortable, be it in my office, on the phone, at their home, whatever. And I will not call them back at the end of that interview unless they call me. That's my commitment. In other words, if they don't want to be called back or they don't like what took place, they won't hear from me. I won't be calling them up.
And I appreciate that, because the thing, Blaise, is that there are people out there that have life insurance policies, or they have money in a CD or wherever they have it, okay? And at my point in life, I want guarantees. I don't take any risk, okay? Because when I was in my 30s, we took enough risks in 40s and 50s. But the point is, what we're looking at is there's some seniors maybe who are sitting on some money that they could get more for them, guaranteed, okay? And the testimonials in here, there are people that they were in those situations and you took care of them. So that's why I'm, want you to be able to say, we can help you, okay? We can help you in different areas. Particularly people who are sick and need life insurance, okay? I think that's the one of the biggest things that I think is great.
Well, with the life insurance, primarily what I'm doing, you asked me before the show, with younger people, a lot of people are buying term insurance today.
Is that a good thing?
Well, I think it's a good thing because it gives people a lot of coverage, and it protects their family, and it's very inexpensive. Now, the short side of it is it's just what it is. It's term, 10, 20, 30 years, and you have no more insurance. But when you think about a young family that doesn't have much money, they're raising their kids are in college or kids are in school, they got a mortgage, at least they could put a couple $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. That's nothing today to sell $1 million a term, okay? Nothing. I mean, when I was in the industry 30 years ago, you sold $1 million policy, it was a big deal. Today, it's not such a big deal. But the point is, it can be bought relatively cheap, and you have the peace of mind of walking out. People think nothing, they buy their car insurance, and you pay that every year, you pay your homeowners every year. I'm not advocating that everybody should buy term, but when it comes to term, if I give somebody a quote, I'll give them 20 or 30 companies of the top rated best and let them choose. And we'll start at the tippy top and work our way down. And I could give you loads of examples where I've saved people hundreds, in some cases thousands, in some cases over a period of years. I just had one guy over a 30-year policy, $80,000 that he would have paid, that it was reduced. Because everybody's out, these insurance companies are out competing. And so what I'm out doing, my slogan is shopping products and price for our clients. I'm out to get you the best rate. Not say, well, I need this policy, sign here. I'm out to do what's right. So in the younger markets, term insurance. In the older markets, a lot of wealth transfers. Sometimes people are using whole lives with guarantees, and we're transferring money into the whole life and getting a guaranteed death benefit.
See, that's where some people have these insurances, okay? They have life insurance, they're paying for them, or they have some money in the bank or whatever, and they don't know specifically, well, let me just leave it alone, all right? Because I don't want to disrupt anything, and I want to make sure I know what I have. But in your case, sometimes it's like, wait a minute, I know what you have, but if I look at some things, and remember you're talking guaranteed, it's going to be the same situation, I could take that and do something with it to increase your income. See, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to be able to help some of our people out there that are confused, okay, and who are trustworthy. Folks, I'm talking to Blaise Greco, and the phone number is on the screen. The brokerage, Greco Brokerage.com/SSPTV to go there. No obligation whatsoever. He promised me that. I would give him a call just to review some of those things and see if you could do better. Know one thing, he'll tell you the truth. I'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Folks, remember 24/7, you can watch all of our shows at ssptv.com. All the shows we produce, and for those of you who are in Pottsville, you know we're on Comcast 190 every day. In the Hazleton area on 2, Channel 13, and our HD channel 513. In the Mountaintop, Wilkes-Barre, Kingston area, Saturday and Sunday evenings from 7 to 11 o'clock on Channel 92. And Lackawanna County, we're on Saturday and Sunday mornings from 8 to 12 p.m. on channel Comcast 190. My guest today is Blaise Greco, folks, from the Greco Brokerage Services. And one of the things, if you just tuned in, I would highly recommend to watch the show. You can watch it on the internet anytime you want. But we're talking about financing and what you do, what you should be doing, or some of the things you could be considering. Blaise's statement is a mission statement, is to treat our clients with honesty and integrity by doing the right thing, to do what we say and to say what we mean, to make wise choices by comparison shopping the best products and price for our clients. The line between right and wrong is not blurred at Greco Brokerage. The phone number is on the screen, no obligation whatsoever. I want you to call him if you have concerns. Blaise, once again, thanks for coming on the show. Now, there are many areas of financing, okay? For example, I just recently took all my policies that I have, and I'm analyzing them. Am I overinsured? Am I underinsurance? I have a couple of annuities. So let's talk about annuities. These are guaranteed, right? Annuities.
Yes.
How do I know if I should go into annuity? And there's one thing here that you would that I want you to talk about, and it's the vetted annuities, or what was
Indexed?
it? Indexed, fixed and indexed annuities. So let's talk about your fixed and what is indexed annuities.
Okay, well, let's talk about the fixed first.
Okay.
And to keep things in its simplest form, and I could always go more into it with a client, but when you think of a fixed annuity, you sort of think of like a CD, excepting there's some differences. The primary difference right now, where a large amount of my annuity business is coming from, is people that are getting low interest rates in the banks on CDs. but yet they don't want to take any risks.
Right.
So the fixed annuity will give them a stipulated interest rate for a period of time. In 9 out of 10 cases, it's better than the CD. When you talk about guarantees, the one thing that the bank has, of course, is the FDIC that they bang on pretty hard. The thing that I tell people is you have the insurance company, the backing of an insurance company. The thing is, people say, well, could I lose my money? Theoretically, I guess you could lose your money, but what I say to people is, what's the last insurance company that went broke? They have acquisitions, mergers, takeovers, but insurance companies don't go broke. You know what I mean? And they've been paying, and they've been around forever. And there are some state safeguards, and there are some other things to protect, but they are guaranteed by the faith of the insurance company, the goodwill and faith of the insurance company. So to answer your question, the fixed annuity gives a guaranteed interest rate for a stipulated number of years. The interest is tax deferred, which could be good in a lot of ways. If you talk to your accountant and you're looking online 10A and you're paying a lot of taxable interest, by moving that money from CDs to the annuity, you're removing that 10A taxable income. And that could help some people, particularly if they have a ton of CDs and they're putting their Social Security at the possible taxation, stuff like that. So there's, and again, I don't want to get too overweight, but the point is they can get a better rate of return.
Because you're shopping all these different places.
Oh yeah, every week it's somebody different.
What's the index? What is that?
Okay, so the indexed annuity was a concept that they came out to have a fixed product, and I like to refer to that a fixed product where somebody could be in the market but they're not in the market. In other words, so I refer to that as zero is your hero. And so how it would work is, and this is to make it simplified. So you're in bed or in business with the insurance company, let's say. And so let's say they make 8%. And they say, well, we're going to give you 4%. You say, oh, geez, that's a bad deal. Well, 4% is better than 2%. Now, next year the market goes down and they lose money and they make a negative 8%. Zero is your hero. You're not going to lose any money. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to lose any money. Now, you're not going to make the kind of money that you could possibly make in a stock market. You're not even going to come close. When the stock market's performing now and people are getting double-digit returns, I don't want to mislead anybody. But if you want to get your statement every quarter and you don't want to see a loss, and invariably that's what people tell me. I just had a guy my age call me, and I was shocked. And he said, listen, do you have anything for me? I don't want to take any risk at all. Nothing. I don't want to be in the market. I don't want bonds. I want guarantees. I said, yeah. And I was surprised because usually it's an older market, but there's actually people in their 50s, their 60s, 70s, they don't want to lose money.
Blaise, I ask you to give me people's names, okay, as to who you have done with. Now, and folks, these letters that are in here are available to you when you call Blaise. I just want to highlight some of the things here. We talk about credibility. We talk about honesty. I tell you folks about substance of people, and we've all made mistakes in our life, but I want to tell you about Blaise a little bit. Before we started the show, Blaise says, can we say a prayer, Sammy? Okay. Tells you about substance. So when he comes into your home or he talks to you on the phone, you know you're talking to an honest person, or he would not be sitting on the Sam Lesante show. So that's the reason why he's on this show today. Blaise, if you're looking, here's Rose. She says, she talked about, how you were really so nice and her father needed something and you were able there and you spend the time. She's a broker. We talk here about a business owner, developer who you've helped. And folks, again, these are available to you. We talk about another business owner who's, all of these are outstanding, okay? Letters of a retired RN, okay? a person who's 81 years old, okay, what were you able to do with that person? And the letter's in here, it's saying.
Well, the interesting thing is he originally called me, he had double H bonds, and he said, I got to get rid of these bonds. My kids are going to have to. I said, well, geez, you're going to get whaled with the tax no matter what you do, because it was substantial. Anyhow, to shorten the story, he was thinking about an annuity. And I said, well, you're just kind of moving the money from here to there. And I said, how's your health? He said, I'm pretty good, I said, why don't you think about a life insurance policy? And he laughed, he chuckled, and he says, you're crazy. He said, I'm 80 years old, And I said, well, it happens, And so anyhow, long story short, I shopped it out, and I was able to get the guy a standard rating, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
I mean, there's some 50-year-olds that can't get a standard rating. Yeah. So as it turned out, we used that as a wealth transfer. And what I mean by that is we simultaneously took money out of his bonds each year to put into the life insurance, and we made his children, his adult children, the owners, which would remove the money from his estate, and it did a couple things. Anyhow, so it worked out.
I got to tell you, there's a letter here. Is it all right if I mention his name?
Who's
the
that?
doctor here.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have a problem with that.
Well, for those of you who know Dr. Victor Greco, okay, this is the guy is as solid as you can be, and is a great businessman. And he wrote, I would like to take this opportunity to write a testimonial letter for a very deserving individual. Blaise Greco is a dedicated, intelligent, knowledgeable, trustworthy insurance agent who has been my agent for at least 30 years. I found him to be fully dedicated, sincere, and an agent who gives the best advice for each individual and their needs. When a problem or question arises, he is in the forefront working hard for his client and getting results. He is also available and is contacted easily. I recommend him highly without reservations, Victor F. Greco, MD. And folks, you all know, if you don't know Dr. Greco, the guy's a genius. He's been around a long time. I'm very happy to say he's a personal friend of mine, but been right on many, many occasions, as you know. But I tell you, for Vic to write this, okay, he just doesn't give out those things because he likes you, okay? There's no...
Very honest.
So if I called you and I want you to appraise my life insurance or my CDs or something that you can look at, you do that free of charge for me, correct?
Yes.
Yes. No charge whatsoever.
No, I mean, if we get done and you say to me, hey, I'm just not going to do it, and that's happened, I just don't feel comfortable, or I talk to my kids, or I talk to my accountant, that's fine. No, that's okay. I learned something, you learned something, everybody walks away better off.
Well, I tell you, Blaise, I think the fact that there are so many people out there that are really, nervous because everybody has a story to tell. And look, we have great people out there in the financial industry, but you dealing with all these hundreds of clients, I mean, and insurances companies. Am I correct? You
yes.
have, yeah.
It's endless.
Yeah. Is there such a thing as being overinsured?
Yes.
And you'd be able to tell a person if they're overinsured?
Yes.
Because sometimes they could be wasting money.
Yes, they could be.
Have you found out at any of your clients that they've been in those situations?
A handful, that don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Tax laws change, that could say you don't need the insurance anymore.
And
There's
here
an
again,
example.
speaking of tax laws, we've got about a minute left. You're fully appraised of what's going on with tax laws and, persons in different tax brackets or whatever.
Well, I don't give any tax advice, but I have some basic knowledge just from doing this.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier about line 10A, I could look at something, but I would want them to go to their accountant. But there's ways to I always say people do not understand the fine intricacies of life insurance, and I do. And there's ways that it could be used to help people along their planning.
Well, I remember you telling me many years ago, this insurance I bought, UL insurance, if you recall, for Metropolitan, you had sold me that insurance, and you said after a certain period of time, this is going to take care of itself, and everything you told me was exactly the way it came. So, folks, it's Blaise Greco. It's 570-401-6008. Go to GrecoBrokerage.com/SSPTV, or just give them a call. and he'll be more than happy to help you whatever he can. I'm concerned because I know there are a lot of you out there who really could use some help in this area, but go to a person who has been doing this every day, and believe me, he does it every day. Blaise, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
How's your son?
He's good.
And your lovely wife?
Good.
Yeah. Well, you give them my best, okay?
Thank you, Sam.
Blaise Greco, folks. He is Greco Brokerage Services, 570-401-6008. Give him a call. We'll see you next time.